Matt finished 2-0, but that felt a bit harsh, really, on your side, I think.
Yeah, harsh, but another lesson learned in terms of the moment of the goal is just too poor from ourselves in terms of understanding of what's needed at that point. And young players involved, and we know they make mistakes, but we're certainly learning the hard way at the moment.
You started the second half so brilliantly. I think I counted 4 chances in the first 4 minutes, but you had to take one of those, didn't you, I think?
We did. And we ended the first half pretty well as well. It's just not going for us at the moment, in that final moment. But for a couple of saves, a couple of ricochets, a couple of nearly moments, we got a forced issue a little bit more in relation to that. But then when our goalkeeper has not been worked all game to concede a goal like that is just bitterly frustrating. And another, like I say, the lesson of the players on the pitch, but also in terms of what the league is, and then they just man their way to the victory.
So what do you say to the players after a performance
I've got to be careful. I've got to be careful because, it's not expected, but that is what happens when the inexperienced factor is there. Jed's come in and done fantastically well, and just the understanding of what's made him do so well, and the simplicity and the safety factor in that, and then Brandon, a ball you don't want to receive in the middle of the pitch, just keep it away from your goal, keep it going in your direction. So no real critique of them as individuals, but just the expectation of the understanding of that moment as a young player. And it's not just young ones, senior ones have done it as well. So, too many times have we said we're defensively sound as a team, and then we're behind in the game and chasing the game.
So the ability is there. Do you think it's just a bit of awareness here and there that players need to learn, the younger players?
Recognition, awareness, understanding. I don't think anyone would have batted an eyelid if that had gone back at their back line, or if Brandon had helped it on. We tried and just styled out a little bit of a difficult moment in relation to that, but that then takes away all the hard work and the intent and the good play we had up until that point. In fairness, against such a strong passing team, that they worked our back line and the spacing behind the second half, and they worked it quite well. But I think that was probably credit to the way we hurried in first half and put them the real pressure. But as the goal came, then it puts real pressure on your in possession and your quality in the final third, and we didn't quite have that execution of the final action.
Did you feel the change in formation gave you what you wanted, more from an attacking point of view?
Yeah, I thought the game was a little bit too quick for some for the first 20 minutes. It just bounced off us a little bit too many times in that first 20 minutes, and we almost got to the pace of the game and then started just to lend a couple of moments, and then we were up and through and spent more time in the opposition half. So the first 20 minutes, in terms of intent, I couldn't fault it, but then in terms of just controlling the ball a little bit more in certain moments, we could do better in order for Scotty and LT to get high up the pitch for longer. From 20 minutes onwards, I thought we played really well. We almost had that period up until half time and then started the second half so well, but like I said, we've said that too many times, and then all of a sudden we're chasing again because we're goal down.
Yeah. James Connelly coming in today, only his second start, I think, since he came back from Morecambe. How do you think he did?
Pleased, really pleased. Cramping up, and then, like I said, when the game got stretched a little bit, can use the ball, compose on the ball. Still want my defenders and goalkeepers and everyone just to be a defender first and foremost and pride themselves on clean sheets and defensive actions. But he can certainly control the ball and plays with his head up, something which is quite a rarity for a centre half. So pleasing that he's got some game time. He'll continue for the next 5 games as long as his body allows, because he was obviously cramping up a little bit and it was a quick game against some quality players. But as long as his body allows, he'll keep getting the opportunity.
We talked before about Harvey Vale and Sam Finley. Either of those got a chance to be around the squad Tuesday night? Harvey's
definitely got a chance. That's one thing we'll look at in terms of the freshness of the group, and if we continue with the same shape in terms of wing backs, because they're attacking players, and as that game progressed, we didn't quite have the beating of many opposition players in 1v1 moments or creation moments. So we'll look at Harvey, obviously, in terms of what's gone into this weekend, a bit of illness and the load he's had. So he's certainly an option to come back into it, and possibly Jack Hunt. As long as he gets through training on Monday, he's in contention.
Just if I can ask you a couple of questions about Reading, because obviously you've got another game coming up here, third home game in a row. What's your immediate thought now about moving into that game?
Well, he's still raw on the back of a result, and you said that word harsh. It did feel like that, and things just aren't quite one. But we've got a forced issue, we have to score, we have to concede less, and make the most of those moments when we're on top of the game. I'm sure we'll get some of those moments on Tuesday night against another good team, a bright team. But if we play like we did today, we'll be more than fine. And I do believe the goals will come and the results will come off the back of it. But it's just the feeling of the run we've been on, and certainly the fact that we've not scored in a certain amount of time. Like you say, those chances at the start of the second half, you're literally pulling any hair you've got left out with the feeling of when's it going to go in.
Yeah. Reading, obviously a club, their off-the-field problems are well documented, but when you look at their squad, actually, they lost a few in January, they had to, but there's still some very good players in there, isn't there?
Squad, yeah. A strong squad, a very strong squad for the league, so not too dissimilar to Bolton today, but maybe they've struggled a little bit similar to ourselves with just a bit of naivety in their game and a bit of inconsistency in relation to that as well. So we've got to try and capitalise on that factor and just be a little bit more solid for longer in certain moments of the game ourselves.
And another good crowd here today, considering you played at home on Easter Monday as well. What would you say to the fans Tuesday night, another home game to get them to come and back you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think the ones who have the football brain like what they saw to a certain extent today. No one likes the result, and that is always what we are working towards and judged on. It's a results-based industry, and the outcome is everything. But I'd like to think they saw enough to believe that we can turn this run around. And in terms of a bit of an understanding that some of our players will continue to make certain mistakes in certain moments of the game because of what they've done previously.